Hey, I just met you, and this could be crazy. Going all the way upstream with Kevin, Callan, and all the other canoe trips I could have taken. No, I got sucked in with Kevin, Callan.
Well, welcome to another Whiskey Fireside chat. It's very exciting. Very enjoyable. Oh yes, Kevin, it's very exciting times. No. Joe, keep my tongue over there. This would open up. I gotta have whiskey first. I can't have a Whiskey Fireside chat and open my book. Oh, there it is. This is cool. Oh, I gotta get a whiskey. Wait. Oh, don't spill it, Kevin. Don't. I actually bought this whiskey months ago for this occasion. It's my favorite whiskey. Well, I got lots of favorite whiskeys, but this is one of my favorite. And it's expensive, so I'm not going to drink it all the time. Oh, this is the one whiskey I tried when I was on the Spey River. I really, really enjoyed it. Cheers! Cheers to yourself, Kevin. Okay, Once Around Algonquin, an epic canoe journey. Oh. Book number 18, but it's the first one that I self-published. All my other books were published by a publisher, mostly Firefly, or it used to be Boston Mills. So why self-publish? Well, first of all, I went to the publisher, Firefly, and I said, hey, here's another book. They looked at it and they actually liked the idea, but they weren't looking at doing any more regional books with me for a couple of years. So I was like, okay, what's going on? So then I said, okay, I'm going to go to another publisher, and I had other publishers interested, actually. But I'm thinking, why don't I try this self-publishing thing? I always liked that. The next bend in the river, right? Let's just try something different. And a lot of people that I knew in media just said, yeah, you should have self-published long ago. I said, why? Well, look into it, Kevin, and you'll find out. Well, I make 8% off a book when I publish through a publisher. And I make 70 to 40% when I sell this. That's huge. That's huge. I mean, there's a lot of disadvantages I'll get to in a minute, but when I found that out, I went, whoa, okay, because it's a given that Canadian writers don't make any money. It's a real given that Canadian writers that are in the outdoor world make no money. And I knew that going into it. Absolutely knew it. So, I scratch a living, but I don't do it for money. I do it for, to make a change in the world. And that sounds sappy, but that's what I knew what I was getting myself into. So, whether it's 8% or 70%, at the same time, I do a lot of the work. I already do all the work. I do all these shows and market my own book on radio and television and stuff like that for 8%. So there's days where I'm thinking, wow, maybe I should just try the new bend in the river. I chose IngramSpark. Why? Well, you can do Creative Space where now it's called Kindle, I think, through Amazon. You can do Lulu, a bunch of other ones. I chose Ingram because they have a good distribution, meaning that my book will get to libraries and brick and mortar bookstores, and that's something I believe in. And yes, it's going to be on Amazon, but at the same time, I didn't want to just be on Amazon. That's not for me. And yes, it's a bit of money. Actually, there was a saving code I used, so therefore it didn't cost me the $49. It was free. Yes, if there is an error once the book comes out and you have to fix it, you have to pay per fix. And Amazon or Kindle, whatever it's called, doesn't do that. It's all for free. I also found out that the quality, is it good or bad? I don't know. I heard that Ingram's better quality than the others, so the quality is really good. And okay, goods and bads of self-publishing. Well, absolute nightmare for me to get this book. This is just my bad luck, though, so I'm not blaming anybody out there. I don't really know why this happened, but I ordered a book. It's called a preview book, so you can look at it and say, yeah, everything's fine, because after I loaded it, it looked fine, but you need a book to say, yes, it's fine. So I ordered it, and that was over 2 weeks ago. So you put a date saying, okay, I'm going to get the book, look at it, and then you're going to put it out for sale, and that date passed. And all these people started getting it and sending me messages, I just got your book, and I went, you got my book? I haven't even looked at it to make sure it's okay. That's a nightmare. The other thing that happened was absolute nightmare, is I'm doing all these shows coming up, and I want the book for the shows because that's where I'm going to sell most of the books. So if I waited to see this, then those books would never get there on time for the shows. It was like playing cards, right? So I basically said, yep, I'm going to order 300 books here, I'm going to order 100 books there, whatever, mail them out from the printing place because it's a print on demand. And hopefully it looks great, and it's fine. So that was a tough one. If I waited, that would be a really foolish business move. So I didn't. So that's what the book's out. I would say though, self-publishing. Okay, so here's the thing that I always thought, self-publishing, you know, so a lot of people now can say, oh, I'm an author. Oh, you are, really? Oh, yes, I've published a book and it's on Amazon. It's like, I don't know why I'm using this accent, but really, well, what made you an author? Well, I wrote a book, I downloaded it into Amazon, and it's print on demand, and now you're a published author. Man, in my day, that's not how you became a published author. You got to do a lot more than that before you became a published author. And some people still believe that if you're not a publisher, it's not a real book. Now I don't believe in that because I've actually read a lot of self-publishing first published books, and they're great. In fact, I'm so glad that exists now because these books can get out there, especially in the outdoor world. There's so many people that are doing amazing trips and have amazing adventures, and yet publishers aren't touching it. So I think that's fantastic. But there's that feeling of, okay, are you a published author or not if you self-publish, especially through like online? I was really, nervous about that they were to be like, oh, Kevin's got 17 books through a publisher, now he's self-publishing, he must be dive bombing. And that's not really the case. What it was is I wanted to take more control over my life and over this, and self-publishing did it. I have huge advantages that others wouldn't. I have media connections, so CBC radio, morning shows and stuff. A lot of those media, they don't touch self-publishing books, but they would for me because they know me. I just actually literally emailed them and they all said, yes, absolutely, we'll have you on the show. Fantastic, right? And that is years and years of a lot of work paying off for this. And you don't do this alone, okay? So you don't just write the book, make your own cover, and send it out. Because when I was through my other publisher, I worked with all these people, designers, editors, and stuff. We worked together to create a really good product. Same thing, okay? So I even went to the people I knew, went to Katie, the editor of Rappelling magazine I write for. She edited it, she's an amazing editor. And then I got Jill, that I used to know from Boston Mills days. She's the designer, she's still doing it on her own. I went to her and she designed this book, an amazing inside design, cover, back cover, everything. And yeah, I had to pay them. And that's what you get for quality, you pay people. So at the end of it, I invested just under $5,000 in editing and design, and I'm going to have to invest a lot more into marketing after that. But I'm making 70 to 40% on a book, not 8%. So yeah, that's cool. I like the design. I like the cream color. I chose cream and not white because I'm old, and I think cream is more bookish looking, so I prefer that. Which is great because I made that choice, right? That's fantastic. I made the choice. So if everything goes wrong, I'm to blame. But if everything goes right, awesome. What's the book about? Well, it took me 5 years to write this book. It was more of a hobby, sitting on the porch in the morning or drinking whiskey at night, whatever, just writing the story. Because I used to write how-to books and guidebooks. This is not that. It's a story about my buddy Andy and I going around the meanest link in Algonquin, which is an insane trip that the Algonquin Outfitters and people at Camp Pathfinder created. And it connects all the outfitters, but also all 6 watersheds. And it's over 100 kilometers. It's 420 kilometers of paddling. It takes about 3 weeks. The record is 7.5 days, though. That's insane.
We got quite a few portages. Would you say 3 kilometers? Or no?
5.
Oh, 5. Really?
Almost 6.
Okay. We got almost 6 kilometers of portaging to do. Today we had just over 6 kilometers, actually under 7 kilometers yesterday. This is our story of walking through Algonquin Park. And yeah, 68 kilometers of portaging. It's brutal, especially some sections like going up the Big East River and stuff like that. Would you like to explain what happened yesterday?
We had a wonderful day.
We lined up rapids. We wet our undies. We're up to here in water at one point.
Oh, that explains the wetness.
Yes.
Yeah, Kevin's exhausted his quota of, hey, I've got an idea for a canoe route. That's right, now we're calling it the meanest hoax.
Yes.
But yeah, it's a story about that, but it's also about the history of the watersheds. It's about the history of Algonquin. It's about the future of Algonquin. It's a different perspective of what's going on in paddlers and kids camps and campgrounds and things like that. I kind of think it's like Bill Bryson's Walk in the Woods book with a dash of Bill Mason's Song of the Paddle and a little bit of splash of Sir Olson's Lonely Land. There's my first self-published book. Will it be my last? I'm not sure yet. The greatest thing though is I learned a lot. Very stressful the last 2 weeks, actually even before that, trying to get this thing done. But I'm learning a lot, and I love learning a lot. I'm not the person to actually be stale on, yes, I know everything about whatever, and I don't. I love the new bend in the river, and I can't wait to paddle around it. Awesome! Cheers!
Hi-ho, hi-ho, it's on to Death March we go. Mr. Callan lied and now I died, hi-ho, 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 hi-ho.